is everybody going to engage with me today? We're going to do some stuff, okay? So I want everybody to switch seats. Just, I don't care, it can move one seat, just switch seats. All right, great job. Now, why did I have you do that? To change perspective, but we get so stuck in our comfort zones that, you know, if you were here yesterday, chances are you're within a seat or two of where you sat yesterday. And you'll do this in everything you do in life. You would get into a comfort zone. And so just even watching people switch from up here, there are people going, oh, I got to leave my seat, or they're thinking, now who should I go sit next to? Oh, we add so much energy to the simple things in life that it takes away from the big stuff in life. Chiropractic is big. So now what I want you to do, since you're already excited and participating, I want you to turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself as the world's greatest chiropractor or the world's greatest chiropractic advocate. Do it now. Okay, so now, just some observations with that. One of the things, and Josh Paxton was up here yesterday, and I don't know if he's in the room or not, but one of the lines I use a lot is, how you do anything in life is how you do everything in life. So I want you to think about the way you just introduced yourself as the world's greatest chiropractor, greatest chiropractic advocate. And think about, was that really the way you want to present yourself to the world? Did you come off as honest, believable, and own that? So here's a cute little story. Everybody, when they die, their biggest fear is when they get up to the pearly gates, how am I going to get in? And so, when they get to the gates and, they're thinking about all the things that they did wrong and they're going to make amends for and they're going to apologize and they're going through all these things. Well, you're a chiropractor and you're in the middle of giving an adjustment, and all of a sudden, you're in front of the pearly gates and there's St. Peter. So what starts going through your head? I cheated on Oskies. I robbed a stick of bubble gum. I wasn't honest when I said this, and all these things. And you start reciting this stuff to St. Peter, and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't need to know any of your past history. I don't care about any of that. The way you get into heaven is judged by how you performed your last act on earth, whatever it was. And if it was great, then you get in. If it wasn't, you get a suntan for the rest of eternity. So it's thinking that way. So now, being a chiropractor, St. Peter, heaven loves chiropractors, so we're going to let you go back to earth, and you can go and perform that last act as if it was the thing that was going to get you into heaven. How different would you do that last exercise? How different would it be when you're making that last adjustment or that last conversation? So now when you turn to your partner and you say you're the best chiropractor in the world or the best chiropractic advocate in the world, do it with passion, with commitment, and most importantly, with ownership. And then see how different that feels inside. All right, go for it. Okay, so do you understand why that's so important? Because the way you present yourself in public, the way you carry yourself, what people see, you have 3 seconds to make a first impression, and that's even before you open your mouth. So as a chiropractor, when a patient walks into your office or into the clinic or you meet somebody on the street, what's their impression of you? All right, how confident are you? Everybody who's spoken before me talks about, how powerful and we're in the greatest profession and, we turn on life and nobody does what we do. But if you keep it a secret, or you keep it locked inside, it goes nowhere. It does nothing. If you don't have the confidence to believe that, if you're not the best chiropractor, how many people want to go to, the second in charge? Or if you're going to go for surgery, go, listen, I don't want the best surgeon. Just give me number 2 and number 3. He's okay. Right? Would you do that? Well, if you treat an adjustment the same way, who's the best chiropractor in the world? Like, there's no one better than I am. And I own that. And there are a lot of great chiropractors, but in my world, I'm the best chiropractor I know. And whether you're in first quarter or you're in practice 50 years, it doesn't make a difference. You need to own that. Because if you don't own that, you're never, ever going to be successful. Because there's always going to be a doubt in your mind. You're always going to be running and chasing technique seminars. It's a better technique. There's another technique. You know what? Techniques, they're all the same. Every technique in chiropractic works. Every technique. From Logan to network to HIO, they all work. And no one is better than the other. It's the chiropractor. It's like having a tool chest. All right? You can get a hammer and a chisel and all these tools to someone who doesn't know what to do with them, and they just collect dust and rust and sit under a bed or a cabinet. You give it to someone who's a master carpenter, they can make the most beautiful things with it. They can construct the most beautiful things. Same tools. What's the difference? It's in the master's hand. So with chiropractic, you need to own that. And they're just, even throughout our profession, we've always had all these wars going on, whether it's been a technique war, whether it's been politics, now it's the drugs and surgery war, and everybody's trying to get everybody else to come to their side. But they're so focused on the outside that they're pushing things away. And here's a great example of what's going on in the profession. Can you guys just play that video clip? I just want you to watch this behind me, and I'm going to talk through it. I don't need any sound with it, or just a little. Okay, so I want you to look at these metronomes, and I want you to think of these metronomes as all the different things that are going on in chiropractic now. And once you notice, everything is going in different directions. Everybody's doing their own thing. And a lot of times in chiropractic, that's what happens. Everybody, chiropractors love to live in their own little world. But I have to tell you, when you choose to show up, and you show up over and over and over again, and you decide to take a stance, and you're consistent, you're going to find that over time, and you just keep watching these, they're going to start to synchronize. Right? Nothing is changing other than being consistent, other than showing up. So in our chiropractic world, and I look at Life University as my chiropractic world, if we continue to stand for the principles and beliefs and what we're doing, no matter how many sticks or stones are thrown at us, no matter what they say about us, we just keep moving forward. And as we keep moving forward, another metronome falls in behind us. Another chiropractor falls in behind us. And we start building an army. And over time, it gets stronger and stronger. Right? But it starts with you. You have to be that first one that just keeps moving to that beat constantly, consistently, with purpose, with passion. Because if not, nobody's going to follow you. Right? And you just keep watching them. Now notice what's happening. If you look at the ones on the left, they're almost all in sync. That guy up front, still not sure whether he wants to buy the program. He's still, I'm just working on it. But, he's coming along slowly. You ever have that with family and friends when you start to talk to them about chiropractic? Nobody's changing the beat. Oh, look, he's finding it. All of a sudden, that first row, he's in. And they're doing it, and they're doing it. But there's still one in the corner. There's still that little one in the corner that's going, I'm not giving in. I'm not giving in. But you know what? As we get together, as we keep moving, as we're consistent, all of a sudden he goes, I'm still thinking about it. That guy, first row, right, he's going, I'm not so sure about this thing, but I'm going to hang out a little bit. We keep beating them down a little bit. We keep being consistent. We're not letting drugs and surgery in our profession. We're not giving up our beliefs. We're not giving up our principles. You know, we're not going the allopathic way. And he goes, okay, I got it. I got it. And he's with us. But that's what happens. You get in sync. You have the, okay, you can turn it off. Everybody, you see that we're all going the same way. Now, how is that like our life? All right, now, if we were the first metronome and we just kept trying to go change everybody's lives and tell everybody what they need to do, we'd lose our own momentum. We'd lose our own beat. But it's really about standing for a purpose, standing for a belief, standing for, you know, the principle that we own here. And, you know, 10% of the world, or 10% of the population can change the world. You know, my daughter started at Life. She was really concerned that a lot of the kids in her class didn't get chiropractic. And so initially, she wanted to go and change everybody. She wanted to get everybody to see the big picture of chiropractic. And the more she tried to do it, the more frustrated she got. You know, she was adjusted from birth. And she couldn't understand why they didn't get it. And so what I told her, I said, forget about them. I know that sounds rotten, but I said, forget about them. I said, there's 170 kids in your class. I guarantee you there are 20 of them that have the big idea, that got it. Start hanging out with them. Start having fun with them. Start fellowshipping with them. And what you're going to see over time, just like the metronomes, people are going to go, why are you guys having so much fun? School sucks. Why are you having so much fun? And you say, well, hey, you know, we love what we're doing. Chiropractic works. It's above, down, inside out. We own the principle. You know, I haven't had an aspirin. I haven't had a shot. I've never had any meds. And my life's been great. That's what I'm doing. Nah, that's crazy. Well, you know what? That's that single metronome going off in left field. Sooner or later, they want what you have. And will the whole class follow? No. Will a good portion of it start to follow? Yes. And in life and in practice, it's always a numbers game. You know, I always say, you know, some will, some won't, so what next? We as chiropractors spend far too much time trying to convince people who don't want what we have to get it, and we ram it down their throats, rather than taking the people who love what we have and giving it to them and asking them to share it. That's the magic. You know, I was once at a dinner party, and I was taking care of this group of patients who were also being seen by a dentist. And they would talk to me about their dentist at this part, you know, before I go, you know, my dentist, he gets these insane migraines and headaches, and he keeps missing days of work and all that. And they go, we tried talking to him to come in to see you, but he didn't want to do it. Well, we wind up at the same party one time, and he comes over to me and goes, oh, you're the chiropractor. You know, your patients have been telling me to come in for the migraines. He goes, but I don't believe in chiropractic. So I said, okay, and I walked away. He goes, wait, aren't you going to convince me that chiropractic works, is going to get rid of migraines? I said, no, I don't give a shit. I don't have the headaches. You can live with them. You know, I wasn't going to let him ruin my day at the party trying to convince him that what I do works. Because you know what? I really don't care. See, that's the ownership, that's the confidence in saying, what I got's the best thing in the world. You want it, you have it. You know, and the students that have worked with me, whatever I got's yours. You don't want it, that's great. Next, I'm not going to, you know, keep trying to control your metronome. I don't give a crap. Sooner or later, you're either going to come by my way or you're going to fall off the edge. Makes no difference to me. So, you know, so when you're going through school, when you're going through practice, just think that way. Do you want a practice full of patients that you constantly have to convince that what you're doing is great for them? Or do you want a practice full of patients that just want to come in because they love what you're doing? And they want to bring in their family, and they want to bring in their friends. So who are you to concentrate on? You know, in quantum physics and the quantum field, what they talk about is the thoughts you put out and the emotions you bring in is what creates your life. So if you're spending your whole life trying to work with people that don't want what you want, what are you attracting into your life? You can't get enough of what you don't want. And you just keep bringing these people into your office. When my son Josh started with me in practice about 8 years ago, what he wanted to do, he goes, I want to get a flexion distraction table, I want to do, and I said, I tell you what, and all I had at that point were flat benches. I went through all the different tables and I went to a plain bench. I said, if you can adjust after a year on a plain bench, I'll get you any table you want. But you're going to first get used to your hands and doing, if you can do everything with your hands on a flat bench with no mechanics, and you still want a flexion distraction table after a year, we'll get one. I don't care, you know. So a year goes by, and we bring up the conversation. He goes, well, I'm thinking of getting that flexion distraction table. I did what you wanted. And I said, okay, just got to ask you a couple of questions. I said, what type of practice do you want to have in the practice? He goes, you know, I want to take care of kids and families and all that. And I said, well, what's the purpose of a flexion distraction table? And he goes, well, it's to take care of hot, low backs for the most part. And I go, well, do you think if we put that in the office, it would attract hot, low backs? I mean, it's a magnet. What you put out, you get back. She goes, well, I'm not so sure about that, you know, but I think it'd be really good to have just in case. Well, that week he got 3 hot, low back patients, and at the end of the week he goes, okay, we're not putting a flexion distraction table on. Right, but we put drop tables in, and it's not that flexion distraction is good or bad, but it's for a specific, it's not for a pediatric practice, all right? So it's that type of thing. So what energy are you putting out into that quantum field? What thoughts are you putting out? And with how much passion are you doing it? All right? So what are you focusing on? As a student, what are you focusing on in school? You know, and a lot of you have heard me say that. Every one of you have to jump through the same hoops. I don't care what quarter you're in, it's the same hoops, it's the same tests, it's the same boards, it's the same exam, all the same hoops. You have the choice of how you're going to jump through those hoops. And we do the same thing in practice. We all have to do the same things in practice. We jump through the same hoops in practice. Whether it's starting a practice, whether it's maintaining a practice, it's all the same thing. How much fun, you can either do it kicking and screaming and being pissed off, or you could do it smiling and laughing and have a great time. It's the same hoop. It's your choice. You know, so many of us, I was talking to a couple of students yesterday, you can choose anything you want. Nobody says it has to be either or. You know, you could choose anything you want. And the only thing that's limited in the quantum field is you, is your belief or what you're willing to put out. So until you realize that you're worth it, you have the ability to put out anything you want and have the universe give it back to you. Think big. Ask for the world. Go for what you want. Have fun doing it. You know, like I've been practicing 37 years, or 36 years, something like that. I still have as much fun going into the office as I did the first day I opened up. Because it's exciting. I choose to have fun. And patients go, Doc, why do you have such a good time? I said, because if I wasn't having a good time, I wouldn't show up and you'd be in trouble. So I don't do anything I don't have fun at. So I want to leave you with that thought. What are you putting into the quantum field? And as Joe Dispenza says, always want to be surprised at the way it gives it back to you. And go, thank you. This is magical. So thank you all for being here. I want to see you at the next Life Vision. I want to see you at Life Force in April. Come and hang out with us. This is where the magic happens. This is the excitement in the universe of chiropractic. Thank you.